One of the issues that we'll deal with as we go through interpreting biblical poetry is one genre of poetry called the Wasf. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. It is found in Song of Solomon. And Song of Solomon is its own bit of challenge. Its content is unique in Scripture. And when you read through it, the ideas of law and covenant, Mosaic law, they're largely absent. It draws upon creation morality, going back to natural law and creation. And so that's part of the reason that some of the Mosaic law doesn't seem to be mentioned very much in the psalm. The song also mentions the daughters of Jerusalem, and they are mentioned every once in a while. They are instructed by the Shulumite to discretion on the part of her desire to find her lover. And so they facilitate the reader being able to be involved in a story that is otherwise just the conversation, just the relationship between one man and one woman. So the daughters of Jerusalem are there to sort of help bring the reader into the story as well. There is a refrain that shows up several times in the Song of Solomon that is, "Do not arouse or awaken love until it so desires." So that's a little bit of the challenge that comes to the Song of Solomon. And then one of the things that is most challenging about the Song of Solomon is this genre that we might discuss called the Wasf. The Wasf is a description of the physical appearance of the one that we love. So there are two lovers in Song of Solomon. They are praising each other. They are yearning for each other. Their relationship has a great deal of harmony in it. And there are invitations to come, desires to be together, to enjoy each other's company. And so these are the two lovers. And it is out of those relationships that these wasps are created. So what is it? So you've noticed when you've read through Song of Solomon that there are these poems that are descriptions of the lover's body, and they're described and praised, each part in turn from top down or from feet up, and they're usually filled with exotic or extravagant or far-fetched metaphors, and often they're culturally derived. So an American reader or a contemporary reader is listening to the descriptions sometimes and they're scratching their head going, I don't know if that sounds like it's really a compliment or not. And the descriptions are not always literally descriptive. Sometimes they convey the delight of the lover for the beloved, conveys a relationship quality that is important to the spouse, or talks about the moral character of the spouse. So when the spouse has eyes like a dove, it's not talking about big, round, doughy eyes near as much as the moral character of the spouse. The Shulumite, if you read in the Song of Solomon chapter 4, there is a wasf in which the Shulumite is described by the lover Solomon. And these are some of the phrases that he uses. So your eyes are doves. Your hair is like a flock of goats. Your cheeks are like the halves of a pomegranate, and your neck like the Tower of David. So let's take a look at them. Do we mean round and large for the eyes from a dove, or do we mean dove as a comparison of purity? When we talk about a flock of goats, you have to be in a Near Eastern countryside and watch a flock of goats as they're ascending or descending a mountain, and you watch the waving, you watch the movement, And as a shepherd caring for your sheep, you have great affection for the beauty of your animals all flocking together and moving down the mountain. And the lover is saying her hair is like that. The cheeks might be a little flushed, like the colors of a pomegranate. Her neck might be a description then of her strength of character. She is no pushover. She is one who stands strong and has her own personhood, which she then brings into the relationship, and he admires her strength. So that's one of the wasps that are in the Song of Solomon. There's another one in Song of Solomon chapter 7, and here we have again some interesting comparisons. Her belly is a heap of wheat, which again doesn't fit in our culture, but in a culture that values fertility, in a culture that values let's just say beauty is in the eye, in this case, of the beholder. And a heap of wheat, in Solomon's mind, is a great attraction. Again, her neck is strong and ornamental. It is suggestive of her character, of her strength, of her integrity. And then your flowing locks, here no goats, but your flowing locks are like purple. So the color is put there as a sense of royalty, that there is something about her appearance and her bearing that suggests royalty to Solomon, who would, of course, know what royalty looks like. Not to be left out, the Shulumite has a wasf of her own in which she describes Solomon, my lover, as radiant and ruddy, same eyes of purity, same strength of character with rods of gold and alabaster columns. His features are strong, but he is also a man of integrity, a man of moral strength. And in the Shulamite's mind, he is altogether desirable. So that's kind of a flavor for the wasp. They are not strictly descriptions of physical character, though they are that. You notice that they are integrated. So there is a sense in which they could be suggestive, but the passage is also chaste. They admire the physical, but they also admire the moral, and they're integrated together. So I love the way that the wasp sort of treat the wonder that comes in a relationship between two lovers. And in the end, Song of Solomon and these wasps celebrate that relationship as a gift from God. We'll see that later in a video on Solomon's Song of Songs. So wanted to introduce you at least to the genre that shows up in Song of Solomon, called the wasp. If you want to read more, there are a couple of good texts from Dr. Glickman. A Song for Lovers is an older text, written in 1976, and then a bigger volume in which he does a lot with chiasm, and we'll talk about that in another lecture. So you can check those out. Good references for the kinds of things we're talking about. Thanks for joining me.